What is going on, everybody? Z here, and welcome back to some more Once Human. Today, we've got a update, a patch, if you will. Now, there wasn't anything like super exciting in this patch that, everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. But there's something that they snuck in that I think is going to absolutely change how a lot of people do things, what a lot of people are looking for, and that is acid production. Now, this is not only acid production, could be acid oil production. So you guys all know that like the spot to be in the game right now in order to make acid and oil is around Blackfell. Well, this update might have changed that. So hope you guys enjoy. We'll get into it right now. All right, so up until now, the only way to farm acid and oil at the same time has been to place your base in a polluted Blackfell oil area, right? So that's what we have going here. Well, they've added something new to the game that can be grown into acid. So what does that mean? That means you could place your base on a oil reserve and then grow your acid. Now, if you want to do that, you won't be able to automate the water source unless you're right next to a water source. So you'd have to be like in the oil and the water. So actually there's a lot of spots for that. So you can now like basically fully automate that. And how you do that, and the key to this is a new resource that they added. It's a new crop. It's a new plant. There's three contaminated items. There's contaminated wheat, there is contaminated berries, and there is contaminated aloe vera. Now, these are rare drops. I'll put a thing right now. What they look like in the wild, they have this like purpley pink hue to them. They're like blue and red, purpley pink, whatever you want to call them. And they are found in the outside areas of the polluted zones. So you know how there's the polluted zones with there's like the middle part that's usually the really dense red or the dead trees. Well, right around the outside of that is where you're going to have the best luck finding this. Now, they are not everywhere. So I would highly recommend either I would get harvesting gloves or the gardening gloves, and I would get a harvesting sickle. I would get those maxed out because the harvesting sickle will give you a 40% chance to double the yield when you're gathering things in the wilderness, and the gardening gloves, when you're back, there's a 12% chance to double the seeds when acquiring plant seeds. So to give you an example, I went out and I harvested for probably a half an hour, 30 minutes around a polluted zone. I got a total of 6 contaminated wheat, 4 contaminated berries, 3 contaminated aloe vera, and I got 1 single contaminated wheat seed. Yes, that is right. There is specifically a new type of seed. It is a contaminated seed. It is not a regular seed that is in a contaminated zone. It is a contaminated wheat seed, and we have it planted right here. Now it has some interesting desires. It wants a medium irrigation or a medium to high, but it wants low lighting. And I have that in here right now. It's fine. I'm not super worried about the lighting. The irrigation covers most of the vitality, so it's not going to grow super slow. However, like I said, these seeds are very hard to get. Now, the key with this, and I haven't got my full farm set up and running, but once we get a full farm set up and running, I'll make another video talking about the full farm. But essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to do a couple of things. We are going to, and I'm going to get to how to make the acid here in just a second, but I want to talk about this real quick just while we're here. We are going to essentially start using some fertilizers, because there are some fertilizers that you can craft in the game that do a few different things. So if you go over to your bench and you have them unlocked, the one that I'm going to be starting with is the fertilizer breeding boost. Fertilizer that will boost crop fertility, increasing seed yield when the plant is fully mature. So I want to start planting these. Now, in order to use fertilizer, you do have to plant them yourself. You cannot use your mushroom to plant them for you. But this is kind of like an initial thing, setup phase to get the amount of seeds that you're going to want. Like I said, I got 1 seed. I have 1. All you need is 1. But then once you get the 1, you can fertilize boost it with this. You can get more seeds out of it, so on and so forth. 2 turns into 4, 4, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be working on trying to get that fully fledged out. I have not got a aloe vera seed, a contaminated aloe vera seed. I have not gotten a contaminated berry seed. I want to get one of those, of each of those as well, and get those going. But how do you make the acid? Okay, so this is the golden part right here. So you can literally farm your acid. You can grow it. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's not going to change the market a lot. I don't think you understand how powerful farming is in this game. You can set up a farm and you can produce mass amounts of things. So to get this farm running right here, this farm is literally running off of like 5 power right now. I have a light there, I have a light up there, I have one water there, one water there, not including the osmosis and the water filtration and all that stuff. You can run such a big farm for so little power. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like this whole acid production thing that I have going on right here, this uses 200 power. You know how much farming I could do with 200 power? I could literally have this entire base, a tower of plants going all the time with nothing but mushrooms, and we might do that. But how to get the actual acid? So what you're gonna need is you're gonna need a brewing barrel, and you are going to need some purified water. So basically you're going to do this with like everything else you do. You can see we have acid going here, but what you're going to do is you're going to need your purified water up here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to throw the contaminated aloe vera in here. Okay, so it takes 2 contaminated aloe vera to make 1 acid. That's why it says 2 right here. And then we're going to actually, you know what? I'm going to pull these out because I want to see what we get here specifically. So contaminated wheat, we're going to go ahead and do that. And then contaminated berries, we're going to go ahead and do that. So we've got 3 berries, 2 aloe vera, and 6 wheat. I believe this is a 3-to-1. I believe this is a 3-to-1. I believe this is a 2-to-1, and I believe this is a 3-to-1 as well. So we should, in theory, get 1, 2, 3, 4. We should get 4 acid out of this, roughly. Now, again, like I said, I know it doesn't look like it's a ton of acid right now. I know it looks like that. It's like, okay, well, this isn't going to be very much, you know? I mean, you're going to get 4 acid right now out of that. And that's going to be it. Yes, but if you fill these and you do the exact same thing that you would normally do with your impure acids, because normally we throw impure acid here, it makes 1 apiece. That makes 4, a total of 4. You can do this exact same thing with crops now. And that's a pretty big deal. Now, this part's not automated either. You can automate the water going into these, but you cannot automate this material going into these. So you still have to do that. But essentially, instead of having to have the impure acid, you can now just grow crops. And grown crops can be done anywhere. So you can now, like I said, you can pop down a base anywhere in the oil area, and then you can make a farm. And guess what? You are now making oil and acid just like everybody else in this fancy black fill area here. You don't have to feel left out. And you can, for as far as oil goes, you don't have to build on the like the wet oil spots. You can build anywhere that there's an oil node nearby. If you look right here, I have no oil nearby anywhere. You could just, there's nothing here, right? But my pumps right here are producing oil because we're in the area. So you can literally move to anywhere that has that. Now, the only caveat that I have here is you cannot get regular water unless there's a spot, which I'm going to tell you right now, new spot is going to fill up very fast. So if you're watching this, make sure you head over there. Get over there now before it's gone. The river that runs right through Blackfell area. This area will enable you to get water and oil because you can place your oil if you place the pumps down on the ground over here. So if you place the pumps anywhere over here, anywhere on the ground, you'll get oil. And then if you place them over here in the water, you'll get water. So then you can run your purified water. So actually, in all honesty, the area next to the water has now, honestly, in my opinion, become the premium source because you don't have to do the water by hand. You get oil still, and you're still going to make acid. And you can make probably a lot more than you can off of those stupid pumps. I don't think people realize that, in my opinion, it's completely changed how acid's going to be made. Now, that's also going to crash the acid market. So acid, I have a feeling, is going to become very cheap because a lot of people are going to move into selling it now because it's relatively easy to get. All you have to do, you have to put a little bit of work in the beginning to get the farm going. But like I said, once you get those initial seeds, once you go out and gather them, you are going to be able to fertilize them. You're going to be able to double your seeds off of them. And then those doubled seeds, double seeds, so on and so forth until you have a massive farm. So this is a huge update and I'm super excited for it. Let's go check on our acid over here. And let's see how many we got. Like I said, it doesn't sound like a lot, but passively, if you have all of your barrels just full of, so we got 3, and then, so 4. So there we go. That's how much we're gonna get off it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my impure acid back in here because that's what this whole farm was set up for. But like I said, we might be switching over to the new fangled farm as well. Now I will say that the only other issue with this is no, there's no other issue. You know why? Because contaminated food doesn't have a shelf life. So your regular wheat has that shelf life, so it will rot over time. Contaminated stuff does not, just like your deviated stuff. Now, this is contaminated, not deviated. Do not make that mistake. So you're going to be looking for these three. Like I said, yeah, but good luck. Have fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, if this helps and you're excited, leave a comment, leave a like down below. We're streaming. We stream over on Twitch. We stream over here on YouTube. We stream everywhere. So if you guys want to check it out, absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for the support. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.